She's a planet. She's called. She grows wild. Rooted in truth, rising high. She grows wild.
Something that you got used to. I can't say that I got used to it. I don't know about the rest of my siblings, but I got used to it.
That is a conversation too, being that you're the youngest, and though they weren't your mother, you still have mother figures in your life. So the impact of her coming and going probably hit different for everyone. And I would go as far as to say your story and the oldest story may be two different versions of this. And I'm not for certain if, she was kind of enacting self-preservation and self-love by leaving, because I don't know what the reason was. Especially as mothers, we're told and conditioned that you have to stay. So it kind of brings about the question, like, why was she leaving? Was she leaving and thinking maybe that she was benefiting by not, benefiting the children and things, the whole situation, by not staying? But the one thing that really sticks out is that she was sure in the fact that you would essentially be taken care of by your father. And I think that's something that, really could be looked at in a positive light, because I know there's some people, they can't leave their children with the father or with the family members. They don't have that support system. And then in that too, she was able to come and go and come and go because of your dad being the support system that he was. I think it'd be interesting now to kind of get his take on what he thinks about it, even years later.
Listen to you say about the input, my dad take from it. I think that's something I'm going to start venturing towards talking to him more about, because we never really had those really deep, intimate conversations when it came to my mom, or even how I felt about the things, how his decisions impacted my life and how he raised me. And I laughed earlier when you were talking about my mom coming and going, because it makes me think there's so much of the same things etched in me that I repeated that my mom done. And I'm laughing because you were saying, not knowing the reasons why she left. And all I could think in my mind is, man, fuck them kids. Because I always say that. Because of my own, because we all, and I say this because when you're in public and you run into somebody who has kids, I know that I always ask, how's the kids? How's the husband? No one ever asks the mom how we're doing. Yeah. So that's all they was like, how the kids? I was like, man, fuck them kids. Ask me how I'm doing. Fuck your kids, okay. What about me? So that's why I was laughing when you said that about my mama. Girl, Chicken was saying, fuck them kids. Shit. And most definitely, my daddy didn't have no support system because we were in North Carolina, all the families back at home in Texas, Oh,
he was
the support system. And I think that my mom knew we were going to be okay because my sisters were old enough to take care of me and my brother, and each other. Because if there's nothing else, she taught us how to clean and cook. I know that. Like, we knew that my mama kept a immaculate house, so.
Do you feel like now as an adult that you could have benefited more from her presence?
Most definitely.
Do you think can you kind of picture, or do you have thoughts sometimes as a little girl, like wanting her to actually be there?
I can't say that I have. Well, I'm lying if I say that. I never was the one to ponder a lot on things that I didn't get in my past. I don't know why. Like, if somebody hurts me, I don't hold on to it. This is tricky. I don't know how to say it, because I can look past that for my daddy, my mama, my siblings. But when it came to my husband and my second marriage, that hurt. I held on to more, and I don't know why. But that we talk about that because I don't want to digress. I can remember when my dad got remarried, and I can remember wanting to feel the love of a mom. Remember that. And it wasn't that my mama didn't love me, because she did. It was more of, like, I feel myself getting teary-eyed. It was more of wanting that presence in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I went through a lot with my stepmom, a lot, and it wasn't good. We didn't have a good relationship. Our relationship was really shitty. And I felt like I was fighting for my daddy's love.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, thank you,
Mm-hmm.
I had to address how I felt with her, and that was the hardest thing to do. But it put our relationship on a way better path. Like, I know now without a shadow of a doubt that she loves me. And so we both have decided to move forward, and I'm glad we did. But when I was younger, I can remember asking her, can I call her mama? And she was like, no. You can keep calling me Bigo. Her kids call her that too. And I can remember one time being in the grocery store, we were in checkout, and the lady's like, oh, Edna, I didn't know you had an older daughter. She was like, that's my stepdaughter. And so it made me view her in a different light, because she didn't view me in the light as a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me pull away from her and made me treat her less, love her less, because I felt like you didn't love me, so why do I have to return that same love?
Mm-hmm.
And it caused us both to actually bump heads in so many ways. So that's the one time I can think of wanting to have that mother presence, because I didn't have mine.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it wasn't that my mama didn't love me, because I know she loved me. It's that I wanted a mama to do things with, because my daddy didn't do those things with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's only so much raising you can do with a child over a phone. And I went and spent every summer and every Christmas with my mama. Every summer, every Christmas, my daddy drove me to Memphis, Tennessee to be with my mama every year. But it wasn't enough. My mama, I can remember for Christmas, everything I wrote down, she bought it. It wasn't nothing that she didn't get. She showed up all the time. When I had my babies, she would send these huge ass boxes of care packages. She would come down, help me raise my kids, be there. Like, my mama, she really was a good mom. I think back now that she's gone, I wish I listened to her conversations more. I wish I talked more to her, and I didn't, because my mom had a bit of messiness to her, to where I started learning how to distance myself from her, because I got tired of the mess. But now that she's gone, of course, I wish I would have listened more and did a little bit more, because she's gone. But because she didn't raise me, I have more of my daddy behaviors in me when it comes to loving my kids versus how my mom loved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my sister would say, you too hard on your kids. And I would say, no, I'm not. I said, I wasn't raised by mama. I was raised by daddy. I said, y'all got the best of mama. I didn't. So I can't tell you what it's like fully to be raised by my mama, because I don't know. Like, they got that nurturing love from my mama. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
They got their bobos kissed or whatever. I don't know. I don't know, because I didn't get to experience what they got to experience. I was raised by somebody who showed stern, tough love. So that's why when my kids would cry, I didn't care. Like, you could cry till your eyeballs fall out your head. I don't care. Because that's how I felt. I remember one time my daughter was crying hysterically because she didn't like the decisions I told her, and she thinking about killing herself. I said, what do you want? A knife, a gun, poison, what? Just give me a gun. I think it'll go quicker. I was like, when do you want to go to the store and buy it? Like, that's how I was, because my daddy was very stern. It was not like, I'm not going to sit here and double down on how you feeling when I know what I said is what I said. And that's the end of it, because that's how my daddy was. when it came to being soft, when it came to my kids, no. I didn't know how to be that way. You know, they had to teach me how to be that way. Like my kids taught me a lot and it changed. I had to shift the way I was raising my kids. Like I really did. Because I realized that I was turning into my mom and my sister behind my kids, meaning that stressing out behind them, crying because they're not going in the direction that I choose for them to go. Because my daddy told me the direction I had to go in. And it was a straight line. I couldn't take no detours. I couldn't sit down and take a water break. So when it came to my kids, this the fucking direction you going in. I don't want to hear shit. That ain't how not with my kids. They was like, okay, but this what we finna go do. I tried that reverse psychology shit. I see now you back in the party. They didn't give a fuck. And so I was like, what the fuck I gonna do? My shit is crumbling under me. And I was in the living room crying one time behind a failed marriage and kids who ain't fucking listening. And I realized I'm turning into mama. Because I watch her worry behind my other siblings because, you know, I'm my mama, if she had to go sell pussy to get money for her kids and we need money, she was gonna go sell pussy. I kid you not. That's how my mama was. She's gonna take care of her kids. And I realized, like, I'm finna stress myself out and have a heart attack behind these fucking kids. Like, and I gotta pull back and do something different.
I want to back up a little bit to your younger years, talking about your children being born early on. With it sounded like you were juggling a marriage, motherhood, the children, and school. And you made mention of the, flunking out, if you will, of school. All of that was weighing on you while trying to finish school. What did that look like for you, young mama muffin?
To be honest, I can't sit here and say it wasn't stressful. Stress it was, but because the way my daddy raised me, there was no other option. I had to finish. And then when kids came into play, I knew I had to finish because that was my safety net to save me and my kids. And I say that because I was married. It's my first marriage. And at the time, my husband was addicted to crack cocaine. And so there was no other option. Like I had to finish and I had to give my kids a life better than what I had. I felt like I had a good life. Like I never knew that my daddy struggled financially, so I was way older, he told. He didn't let us see that, like it was hard for him. And so in my mind still, I had a good life because when my daddy took me shopping, he took me shopping. It's like, let me make up for this even though I didn't know we were lacking,
Right.
So for me, there was no options juggling. I had to keep pushing until I finished. At the same time, I think, like even sitting here thinking now, I tend to evaluate my life all the time at night. And I know that had I not made it through nursing school, I always would say me and my kids are probably in fucking projects. And I say that because I was with my second child. I was pregnant in school again with my second child. And big belly and all, going to nursing school, going to clinicals. I had this one teacher in nursing school. She kept trying to get me to sit out until I had my kid. She was like, you just go ahead and sit out. When you come back, you can pick up where you left off at. And there was this one nursing teacher there, Miss Gidry. She would say, but Quinta is not going to sit out. She is not going to sit out. And if she has that baby while we're in school, we're going to get her right back on track. I went into labor that Friday. I was back in class that Tuesday.
What?
Yes, ma'am. There was an option. Nursing school, you can't miss nursing school like that. They don't care if you have a baby. I was back in class that Tuesday. Yes, ma'am. Because then you didn't stay in the hospital no week and all that. They send your ass home.
For the young body. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
and I would leave classes, and at that time, I literally lived down the street from the college. So we would get this little hour break in between classes. I would go home, Jazz would be on one titty breastfeeding. I had the breast pump on the other. That was my lunch break. And my mama was at home. My mama always was there for us. I feed her and I be filling them bottles up with milk. So when I have breast milk, back to class. Yeah. So it was, if I didn't have my mom and my dad when it came to raising my kids in nursing school and going to school, period, I wouldn't have made it. Like that, the support system was so crucial for me, and especially being a young mother with kids. And at that time, I was married when I had Jazz, and it wasn't easy because you're juggling school. Was I working then? I don't think I was working. I wasn't working then because I was in school. I wasn't working then, but I'm dependent on this man who is an addict to make sure that his check comes home. And it was times where I would have to go and find him because bills had to be paid. We needed food or the lights would get cut off, you know. It wasn't easy. I can remember when my son was a baby. I don't remember how old he was, but I know I would pack his butt on my hip. He was still a baby. I don't even think he was walking then. I remember him being in a car seat, and my daddy had bought me my first brand new car because my first two cars are used, and my third car was a Honda Civic off the showroom floor in 1990s, 97. Baby, she was laid, had rims and everything. And he had rented my car. And he had an old school Capri Classic with some rims on it. And I was in his car looking for him. Baby, I was looking. I seen my car on the car wash.